Welcome to Augmented Teachings, where we will talk about the things that will inspire us to think better, feel better, and in turn be better. I'll be your host, Todd Michael Jackson. I'm here with my co-host, Brandi Pagano. How you doing, Brandi?
I am so good. So happy to be here. I know I say that every time we meet here at Talk 960, but I just get so giddy and excited for this show because, for one, I love having these conversations with you because it gives me an opportunity to learn, to deepen, to develop, and grow. And I know our listeners are really loving this content, and we've got some feedback. So how are you today?
I'm doing great, and the subject today is a surprise to you.
Yes, it is.
Because I had a little a talk with somebody at a local grocery store
yesterday when I wasn't with you.
Yes.
So I'm dying to know.
And I'm like, you're like, what's the topic going to be tomorrow? I'm like, oh, I'm not going to tell you. I want your response, your true response to it.
My true, authentic opinion
on it. Right. So this is what happened. I was at the meat counter and I went ahead and talking to the butcher a little bit, and I said, "Oh, so what are you going to do this weekend?" Or he goes, "Well, I'm going to go to Vegas and do this and that." And I said, "You're going to eat? Are you going to drink? Are you going to gamble?" And he's like, "Well, I'm just going to eat because I don't drink because I'm a Christian. I don't gamble because I'm tired of all these lying Democrats taking my money."
Oh,
yeah. So I just smiled, and I understand. He didn't come out of the womb like this. He did not. He has been led down a journey of judgment, fear, and hate.
And part of that's through conditioning,
right?
Yeah.
Through conditioning. You don't come out this way.
Conditioning from the society and the environment that we live in.
Right. And he already had a predisposition that all Democrats were liars. And I was like, interesting. I just smiled on the inside because I know this isn't who his soul is. This is who his vessel is. And right now his vessel is winning the battle in his ideologies.
Because it's the ego that's driving that soul's journey, not the soul itself.
Right. And I realize that he is just looking for the bad in people. And when you look for the bad in people, you will surely find the bad in people.
Right, because we see life from where we see from. And so if we're always expecting that, that's what we're going to see, right?
And sometimes the ego is so powerful that it always wants to cling on to things to show that it's right and that other people are wrong. People that don't think like you are wrong. And that you're special and that they're not special or much less special than you are. Right. In some type of way, they're going to find a way to put themselves above you through egoic means. And people look for things that prove that.
Right.
Go ahead.
Well, in the idea of the ego, and so part of my my understanding and my experience is writing the book, The Big E Power, which is working with our ego. And in the old paradigm, a lot of people had the idea that, we have to destroy the ego. We have to kill it. We have to separate from it. We cannot do that. You can never separate from the ego because that is why you are here. The ego is here to serve you as a soul in this vessel to bring about the experiences that your soul needs to go through.
Right.
So when people say, I need to kill the ego, no. In my interpretation with writing the book is that you become friends with it. You train it. It's like a puppy. It came here, did not know. So everything that we listen to, hear, basically everything we expose ourselves to is programming our ego, and then it doesn't have its own free will. It goes on autopilot. So these souls are here incarnating, right? And they attracted this certain, so they signed up to have this ego because this ego is basically your best friend that's like, hey, you signed up to have this experience of XYZ. This ego is going to help you achieve XYZ. Right. Until we wake up and realize we can override that programming, and that's what the Big E Power is about, is basically taking over, the experience.
I understand fully. So basically what you're saying is the ego is here to serve you, not to dominate you.
Exactly.
And it's hard when a soul is younger, it's hard to understand that.
Yes, it is.
And it falls victim to that. So my response was this.
What'd you say? I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting.
So I, got to keep your ego in check.
Right.
Because I am a Democrat. I'm not even a liberal. I'm a progressive. So that's even farther down the left side.
Okay.
So I just smiled. I said, so that's awesome. That's great for you. He's going to do a conference in Vegas. I'm like, cool. I said, what I've been doing for the last 10 years is studying NDEs. He goes, NDEs? What's that? I said,
what's
when
that?
people die, near-death experience. He goes, oh, you study those? I'm like, yes. I said, can I tell you two things? Because there's people waiting to see the butcher, right?
Yeah.
And I'm saying, I don't want to take up too much time.
Sure.
So can I tell you two things? He goes, yeah, go ahead. And I said, first of all, God isn't a religion. And he just kind of looked sideways, and he's like, yeah, you're right.
Right, God is not religion.
God is not religion. And I said, and the second thing, I want to tell you one more thing. He's like, okay. He's like, I told him, judgment and hate take you away from the vibration of God.
Say that again.
I said, judgment and hate take you away from the vibration of God.
Absolutely, because it pulls you out of alignment
alignment
with that frequency of
God
love.
is not judgment. And he's like, thank you for that. He goes, what's your name? And I told him my name, Todd. And he goes, all right, I'll see you around. I'm like, all right, you too.
Awesome.
So we left on good terms, even though,
Yes.
and I said, I said one last thing. I said, I'm a Democrat. Right? I said, by the way, I'm a Democrat, Christian, right? But I only believe in the teachings of Jesus and nothing else.
So that's more of the Christ consciousness rather than the religion of Christianity.
Right. I'm not going to pick and choose any part of the Bible to prove that I'm right and other people are wrong. I'm not going to do that.
No.
And the crazy thing is the teachings of Jesus line up 100% with every N.D.E. I've ever read.
Absolutely, because
100%.
The truth is the truth all across the board.
Right. Like Christians say, Jesus is the King of Kings. Okay, he's the King of Kings. That means everybody else is not. Everybody else is not.
But what about if we're all kings and he's just the king that was the king leader?
That's advanced there. So yes.
Because we're all one in the same.
And that's the goal is if you look at the teachings of Jesus, that is working the puzzle of unconditional love.
Right.
And I try to explain that so many times. You're not here to worship. If you
No.
worship, you literally are not developing your soul.
No.
Like, well, I'm showing humility and humbleness in front of God.
Why? Because I like what this guy did. How about walk the walk?
Right. And I'm like showing humility and humbleness in front of somebody that's never hurt you is not developing your soul.
No.
Do it to the person that you dislike or the person that you feel has harmed you. That
you.
will develop your soul.
That is working the puzzle of unconditional love. And I live to that truth every day of my being. And having these conversations, again, it keeps this this mentality and this focus in front of me.
Right.
And that's what helps me to keep moving forward.
Yes. And like I said, as long as we learn to acknowledge that the teachings of Jesus are correct and we just follow those, letting everything kind of take a back seat, then we actually will start developing as a society, and Christianity will start developing as a religion. It'll start moving back towards the love of Jesus instead of the worship of Jesus and the teachings of everybody else. So a lot of people are like, they'll pick and choose, and it hurts them. It brings them backwards, actually. They'll start backsliding on their soul development.
Right.
Because they will use these scriptures that are of hate and judgment or division and make that the primary focus of their relationship with God. And God is none of those things.
Right. You were talking about the frequency and vibration of God, which is love, right? I talk about that. Love is a synonym for God. God is a synonym for love in my, reality, because it's all one and the same. It's all a vibration. It's all a frequency.
Right.
And I often stop and ask myself, okay, how my current state of being, whatever emotion I'm feeling, whatever vibration I'm in, I'm broadcasting that. I'm emitting that out into my experience. And I ask myself, okay, is this a vibration of love, or is this the absence of love? And where can I recalibrate? And that's when we can use our tools and spiritual practices in that moment, whether it's mindfulness, meditation, all these other, tools and modalities that you can use in that moment.
Right.
And we were talking about being in that present moment. And so I ask myself and the people that I work with, how is this serving you? Is this serving your highest and best to listen to this, whatever this is going on the news or anything like that? What's your vibration? What's your frequency? How do you feel? Tap into yourself, get to know yourself. And that's the best way to get to know yourself, is through meditation and mindfulness and quieting the mind. So all these, people who lean a certain way, think about that. How does this make you feel? This anger, fear, judgment, hate, all of this, how does it feel in your body? Do you feel good, or do you feel locked up and tense and tight and not flowing that energy freely? How does that make you feel?
Right. And every time, people have to realize, every time that you consume judgment or hate from TV, radio, or the internet, you bring garbage experiences back home.
You're muddying the water of your soul.
Hate and judgment can be very addicting, and that's why people keep returning to it over and over and over again. But reality is we have two purposes of life, work to cause one conditional love, and to bring back beautiful experiences. And when you're going to come back sitting there watching hate radio or listening to hate radio or hate TV or whatever, and that's what you're going to bring back home, you're like, what did you bring? What beautiful experience? Did you take a walk in the park and fly a kite? You do all these things, and because God is a creator, we are the experiencer. What are you going to bring back to God? Well, I got really bent out of shape by watching the show or listening to this program, and then I got upset, and I felt hatred towards people. That's what I'm bringing back to you, God.
Right.
And that's horrible. Don't do that. We're here to have beautiful experiences, and that's what we want to bring. Please don't listen or watch these programs. Get yourself back in alignment. It's so bad with the way things are right now. We haven't had a family reunion in 10 years because of this.
Oh, because what I'm saying? Of the division in your family?
Because of the division, right. Ever since the rise of the T-Man, it's just been like, now we can see the souls that are siding with judgment and hate and ones that are siding with acceptance for all. And before that, there was no division. I didn't know, but there was a reason for that.
There's always a purpose for everything.
There is a reason for that. And I'm not going to talk on it right now because I'm going to save that for the second part of the show.
Sure, absolutely. We're about to take a quick short break. So you are listening to Augmented Teachings right here on Talk 960 Radio. You can find us on Amazon Music, Spotify, and YouTube. We're going to take a short break for a message from one of our sponsors. Today's show is sponsored by the High Desert Center for Spiritual Living in Apple Valley. Join us on Saturday, April 22nd, 2023, for our High Desert Center for Spiritual Living Healthy Spirit Fair. This is geared for health and wellness of the body, mind, and spirit. Visit and see what the High Desert has to offer in integrative, complementary, and conventional practices. Our opening ceremony is at 8:45. Our closing ceremony is at 3:45. There's no admission fee, no fee for parking. There will be vendors providing services, demos, and products throughout the day. We have free speakers, and some of the benefits of attending are people exploring their options for wellness, abundance, and a healthy lifestyle. Share information with other like-minded people, and really come and explore what the High Desert has to offer. You may just find what you're looking for. Again, the High Desert Center for Spiritual Living Healthy Spirit Fair. Come explore on Saturday, April 22nd, 2023, from 8:30 to 3:45. Again, that address is 18575 Corwin Road in Apple Valley at the High Desert Center for Spiritual Living. You may just find what you're looking for. See you then.
Hi, and welcome back to Augmented Teachings here on Talk 960. And Brandi, I wanted to follow up on what we were talking about before.
Yeah.
And that was the division we had within my family.
Right.
Right. We have a lot of people that are leaning towards judgment and hate and fear, and some family members are leaning towards acceptance for all and the teachings of Jesus. And why is that? I mean, because realistically, why is there a divide now when there wasn't before? Right.
Okay.
And that's the real question. There's so many people that see this, we'll say it, wokeness, as these people being indoctrinated into this world of liberalism and progressivism, and it's not that way at all. It's actually quite the opposite. So everybody remembers back in 2012, December 21st.
Yeah.
The end of the world was going to come, right? Because the Mayan calendar had come to an end, right? The long count calendar had come to an end. The end of the world was going to come. And it's funny because like months before that, the Mayans came out and said, no, that's, people that had studied that, no, it just starts over again.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world, but a lot of people made a lot of money on
It's not
that.
an ending. It's just maybe a new beginning.
It's a new cycle.
Exactly.
A new cycle. And that's why I try to explain to people, God isn't just an inanimate object. God is living. And the cycles will change. And the vibrations on the planet will change.
Right.
So think of the old cycle, and we have a group of people, right? And they're all moving, progressing. Those group of people are progressing, learning love, small increments at a time, right? And then you get to a new cycle of higher vibration and love that God created. Now, this group of people that was moving forward, progressing at kind of the same rate, is starting to change. You have one group that's progressing a little bit faster than the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Older souls will progress faster in this new cycle, in this higher vibration, than younger souls will. So it's causing a divide. Now, eventually, younger souls will catch up, but it takes more time. We have to get farther into this cycle. And when we realize that it's not people being indoctrinated, it's people showing who they are. And people now, older souls, are more willing to accept people that are different.
Absolutely.
Have more genuine integrity when it comes to acceptance, love, and understanding.
Understanding is the key.
And
it really is.
And younger souls not only are not progressing, they're seeing these people change into love and compassion, and they're actually rebelling against it because the ego is not with it. We have to find reasons why they're wrong.
From an egoic standpoint.
From an egoic standpoint, right? So these people are coming with ideas that they're communists, or they're socialists, or they hate God, or they hate America. What all these things are coming up with to try to figure out why these people are accepting of these people that are so different. You know?
Yeah, I know.
And it's funny because the Me Too movement, the Black Lives Matter movement, all started in this new cycle. Right. They didn't exist before that.
Right.
And people are learning to show love and acceptance for all, because back home in heaven, we are not our vessels.
Right.
We are all equal manifestations of God. Every black man is an equal manifestation of God. Every Chinese man, every Indian man, every Russian man and woman.
All genders, all colors,
they're
everything.
all equal.
Right.
Every Mexican man is equal manifestation of God. So as you have these manifestations of God trying to come across the border, you know, some people are like, wait a second, these are people that are hungry and need shelter.
Where's the compassion?
Where's the compassion?
Yeah.
And then the younger souls will deem them as criminals because they're felons for coming over the border.
Right.
illegally.
They're different. They're separate from us.
Right.
We are manifestations of God, or we are right. They are wrong.
Right.
They're an abomination,
Yeah,
whatever.
a lot of Christians will choose to take the man-made laws and take them as the basis for their judgment against people south of the border that are trying to come across. And then other people will say, no, I choose the laws of God in my determination on whether these people are guilty or not. And a lot of times, I don't think that all people that are coming across are 100% on the level, but they should be vetted. Allow them to come in and be vetted, so you see what their actual intentions are.
Okay.
And the problem is that there's so much hate involved in this whole system that a lot of people just won't take the time to sit down and come together with a plan.
Well, and part of that is give love a chance. You know, giving love, giving equality, giving compassion a chance. Let's just see. That was an old paradigm. We don't have to live under those same rules and laws and ideologies that we did in the past. Just because something kind of worked one way, did it really work for all of humanity, or did it just work for the construct that it was in at that time?
Right.
You know, and so we are in a new paradigm. We are in a new cycle, and that pendulum has swung now from one side that was very dysfunctional, and it's swinging to the opposite side. And based off of, you know, your knowledge and research and testimonials and your innate wisdom and knowledge coupled with mine, it's very clear to see.
Right. And one thing we have to realize is that back home in heaven, we do not ever have a me mentality. Doesn't exist. There's only a we mentality.
Love that. It's so true.
And that's what these people that are waking up to. They're waking up to a we mentality. It's us, not them and me. It's us. And that's the way we are back home. And that's why these people that are leaning liberal or progressive are seeing the world now the way we actually see things back home in heaven.
Right.
Moving away from a me mentality of my guns, my taxes, my money, my freedoms, while encroaching on the rights of others.
And through awareness of all of that we're talking about, that's what's going to bring about that equality. That's what's going to bring about those experiences of heaven right here, right now on planet Earth in this incarnation, in this time and space.
Right.
By practicing unconditional love, by practicing non-judgment, by practicing awareness.
Right.
And love, really, those are the teachings of Jesus. Those are the teachings of love.
Right. And I think that people don't realize that in this new cycle, right, a lot of souls that have already graduated now need to come back.
Why is
now,
that?
because the new cycle,
Exactly.
there is more potential for progression,
Advancement.
in this advancement of humanity and our species in this new cycle, because there's the higher vibration can produce more love and acceptance.
Absolutely.
So a lot of souls that didn't want to come back to the old paradigm, they're like, I already graduated, I learned unconditional love, I'm done with this classroom. They're like, oh, wait, now we can do a lot more in this new cycle. I'm coming back now. And that's why you see so many, like, I just looked it up literally yesterday.
What?
Right. Millennials only identify 30% with the conservative movement. Gen Z only identifies 20%
Right.
with the conservative movement. Less and less
young
souls are being allowed to reincarnate because there's being filled with by people of, or souls of older knowledge and wisdom are being born now, choosing to reincarnate now.
Right.
And
At this
we're,
time
and
for
we're
a certain
literally
purpose.
flooding this country with old souls that are pushing the paradigm towards progression, towards love and acceptance for all. Because as America goes, the rest of the world goes. And that's why so many old souls are being allowed to reincarnate in this country at this time.
Wow, Todd, that was so much to unpack. That was so beautiful. And I personally have so much that I would love to unpack with that. But really it comes down to is that these souls that are incarnating at this time are here for a certain purpose. And I am one of them. You are one of them.
Yes.
We are here to have these conversations. We are here as, a face of this movement in a sense.
Yes.
Because we are here to bring more love, bring more light, bring more understanding and compassion to this whole experience of humanity evolving right now.
Right. And I know there's some ideas, maybe some young souls have like, well, I'll just wait it out. I'll just wait till all these old souls are gone. I'm like, this cycle.
Oh, because they think it's old people or what?
Yeah, old people. But this cycle is 5,000 years long. So old souls will be born here at a higher rate than before.
Absolutely.
For 5,000 years. And the next cycle will have a higher vibration than this one.
And I challenge any of our listeners to really look it up. Look up these things, dive deeper into these ideas that we're presenting here today on our Talk 960 radio show. And if you'd like to learn more and kind of deepen this conversation with us, email us, connect with us any way on our social media. Our email is Augmented Teachings, all lowercase, all one word, @gmail.com. And you can find us again on YouTube. We have lots of lives and shorts and videos and episodes of our podcast and our recordings of our radio show right here on Talk 960. You can also find us on Spotify and Amazon Music. So thank you, Todd, for this amazing show today.
Well, thank you for being here.
Yeah,
and
thank you to our listeners.
Yes, this is so much fun. And I can't wait to come back again next weekend. And we'll bring some new ideas and new perspectives to as many people as possible.
Right. And if you have any topics that you would like us to talk about and digest, again, email us. We'd love to connect.
Sounds great. Thank you.
And always keep love and laughter in your heart and keep moving forward. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.